Don't blink. Here's your boy Ink. Welcome to the show. I know I look like a grandma with my little coat, but it's actually quite cold outside. This is a much happier, much more calm, much more relaxed part two of a video that we did. Part two of Shame and Guilt. Shame and Guilt, which is a video that was very, very emotional, very, very raw. I know this kind of demeaning, but we're coming back with a more rational, more calm version of it. My reasoning for that is because, well, we just went to my father's house, and my mom's a very emotional person. My father's a bit more a fact person, so emotion tends to come less. And this video that was really raw, I thought like it was a really, really, really nice video. Although I cried in that video. I thought it was a really good video because it was showcasing the raw emotion. But I understand that there's some people that do not work with emotion. Some people that don't understand emotion, and basically I wanted to come back as a why was I so upset? Now I did mention in that video that okay, well, perfect example today with my father. I think I'm gonna do another video for that. So I am extremely lucky when it comes to friends. I am surrounded with amazing people, and although I don't have a lot of people in my life, the one I do have are freaking phenomenal. And it's a great thing. It's a great thing because you're in a mindset where you tell yourself that you're so lucky, but there's also this feeling of guilt where you have an amazing friend, but you're not as amazing as them. And it's not necessarily the fear of losing those people, right? It's not necessarily the fear because all of those people that I talked about in that video understood that I didn't mean any wrong. It's about letting them down. They put yourself up, they pull yourself up, they put yourself up. There's this fantastic scene in 22 Jump Street where the two characters are high on drugs. And one of those characters is depressed and the other guy is high and is having a good time. And I have been that guy that was depressed and brought everybody down, and I was in need, but ultimately speaking, I put my emotion, I put my life in front of theirs, and that wasn't fair. It's not about losing friends. It's a complicated feeling. It's not about losing friends. It's not about. It's very bad. It's weird. It's not about losing friends. It's about. See, I try to be a nice person, right? I try to be a nice person to a stranger. I try to be a nice person to a lot of people. And sometimes some of those people are going to take advantage of that, and some of those people are going to be dicks. And it's super easy. It's super easy to say fuck them, fuck everybody, right? I don't need anybody. I can be on my own. That way, I don't meet shitty people, right? And imagine that you're doing a lot for someone, and they end up not being thankful for that. So I'm gonna have to bring in my father. The conversation we had today. My father is very worried about the fact that my financial situation, the fact that I'm working at night and I don't drive, so it's cold outside. My father is really, really worried about that. And once again, my father's more factual. My father is a lot more factual than I am. I'm more emotional. My father is worried about how I live my life and the fact that I don't feel the need to save, or I don't feel the need to have a retirement fund. And ultimately, I understand where he comes from. I really understand that he's afraid because he is so organized. He's so quick to plan things, and I'm not the same way. So for him, of course, he is in a place in his life where he feels like he's comfortable, and he's looking at me, and he wants me to be comfortable too. There's this worried, and for my father, it's actually a really, really positive thing. Where he feels that the only way for me to be okay is to follow him. And in his mind, if I follow him, it's a perfect example of how you make life, because my father at 60, I want to say 7, but 58, Yeah, it's gonna be 66 because it's the 11th April, and it's nice to plan, but I'm a kind of guy that plans for videos, but ultimately speaking, I end up with so many plans and they don't end up working out, and maybe that's because of ADHD. I've been researching ADHD and I've been seeing a lot of similarity to how I act, and although it's not a crutch, it's nice to understand why am I like this, right? Now, me and my father were two very different people, and with different people, there's a different reaction. So he talks about his death, and he's talking about inheritance, and he's worried that I'm gonna squander it. I'm gonna do something stupid with the inheritance. Talking about how he want to put an inheritance in his house, but the fact that I don't know how to take care of it, which is in his mind is actually really kind, because he's like, yo, when I'm gonna be gone, my father's gonna be taken, my son's gonna be taken care of. But in my mind, although I understand where he's coming from and that worries, this is the exact difference, is the fact that I'm more sad. I care more about him dying than having a fucking house or money, right? And I know long term, and I know this is not good, because ultimately long term, like for example, I'm seeing this girl, right? And I'm seeing this girl, and she's talking about having a house, and she's talking about knowing what she want to do. And ultimately, I want to be that person. I want to be that person that has a partner and is able to be. I want to be that person that is able to have a partner and supports them. And if they have plans, I don't want to be the guy who says, you know what, I cannot help you. I want to be the guy you can rely on, because I think relationships works 50-50. But relationship works 50-50, but also every single friendship. So that's where I'm going with that. My father, he wanted me today to meet him 50-50. So you give him advice. Now, in the past, I'll admit that when my father is not very emotional. So when he has emotion, he doesn't really react in a positive way. So what I'll do, I'll get really angry. And there's no need. When a person is angry, I learned that very young. When a person is angry, if you're angry, what you're gonna do is anger. So they're gonna see that you're also angry. So they're gonna be putting this as a sign of assertion, as a sense of I'm the alpha male in this situation, right? And what you can do is, no, I am. So you're going to go more aggressive. But then it goes there and it goes there. And then you end up in a fight that is going way out of proportion, in which I have been. And ultimately, a lot of time, what I'm going to try to do is be more passive as a balance to the situation. And ultimately speaking, I think that balance, I think, is really good. Because we're talking about a relationship that's 50-50. We're also talking about a friendship that's 50-50. With my father in particular, where my mom is the same thing. My mom is a person that's very emotional. I'm very emotional too. So we'll get into fights because emotions are raw. I don't mean to hurt my mom. She doesn't mean to hurt me. But we'll do the same thing. For example, I went to my mom on the 30th of December for the new year, and we had fights. And some things were said more so, and I'm not playing victim. It's fine. I understand this emotion. Some things were said on her part that were really hurtful. Some words, for example, it's complicated. Since I started creating content, I've been really working on not pronunciation, but I've been really working on my communication skill, but also being truthful. Like a lot of people say, "Hey, Ink, you yap a lot." I couldn't stand here and look at you guys for a minute not talking. I couldn't do that because I would feel uncomfortable, right? And ultimately, if I make videos, I have to be comfortable. Otherwise, what's the point? What's the point? I don't care about money. I don't care about anything else. Then ultimately, this channel has been a miracle in the sense of growth. I remember clearly the person I was before I started making content, and I'm looking at the person right now. And in a lot of situations in life, it's the same thing. There's no evolution, but as a person, as a foundation, it's a lot stronger. So I've been working on being more communicative, and I was trying to communicate with my mom my emotions today, and she thought I was trying to manipulate her. Now, ultimately, she's right. I did lie a lot as a very kid, teenager, young adult, I did lie a lot. I used to lie a lot because it was a feeling of I don't want to fight, so I'm gonna tell you whatever you want, and we don't fight. It was cowardice, right? It was cowardice. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie about me not lying. I'm not gonna lie about me lying. Make sense? So yeah, so with my mom, there's thing that she said, and I was really hurt, and then she called me right away, and it's absolutely nice thing. My mom, she called me right after and said sorry, right? She didn't mean it, and ultimately I know she didn't mean it, but. And the reason why I'm talking about my mom and my father in this very videos, explaining why I reacted that way, explaining why I feel guilt and shame, is because ultimately speaking, I believe there's nature and there's nurture. Nature where you're the way that you're supposed to be. The girl I'm seeing, she's very into astrology. She's very very into astrology, and I like that because it's not necessarily I wouldn't go as far as saying it's conventional or traditional. A lot of people are gonna say it's bullshit, right? But and everything that you believe could be bullshit. I could tell you something right now, can you believe it? And it's complete bullshit. Your boss can tell you something which is complete bullshit, right? But it's about being open-minded. You know what? Maybe it's bullshit, right? Maybe it's fucking bullshit. Maybe it's a cash grab. Maybe it's the truth, right? But in the off chance, no matter how small the chance is, you took a risk. You gave a person your trust, and you gave your person you open minded. So even though horoscope, what is it in English? Like astrology, in general, it's oh my god, I'm gonna be making a lot of people angry with this one. Astrology is like religion. It's a system of belief. I believe this happened, and ultimately speaking, because you believe this happened, there possibly a placebo effect where something that you think was going to happen is going to happen because you think it's going to happen, which is halfway a placebo effect, halfway manifestation. So, for example, I'm manifesting a really good day, right? I'm going to have a really good day. I'm going to be seeing in astrology and the horoscope, right? And they're going to tell you, you're going to have a bad day today. So because I come in with a mindset of I'm going to have a bad day today, I'm being more careful. And because I'm being more careful, I don't take as many risks, which is great. But then what happened if you were supposed to take risks that day? You know? It's all a question of... It's really weird. And then I'm talking about nature and nurture. Nature is your zodiac sign, the way you are, your nature. Are you by nature very angry? Are you by nature very passive? You know, and it's a system of belief. How do I believe you are? Or nurture, which is your parents, your friends, right? And my parents were my blueprints, and my parents were two very different people, and that's why I always had those two versions of what to do. That's why I always try to find two reasons to do things, right? And so the reason why I felt so much guilt and so much shame was because I'm surrounded with so many good people, right? And I'm extremely lucky, but I don't want to feel like a burden to them. I felt like a burden. And that very day, I felt like a burden. And today with my father, I was talking about my father. Today, we was talking about that, and I was staying calm. I was really calm with him. Because I was like, dude, you're telling me how you feel. Who am I to judge how you feel? Who am I to tell you, no, you're fucking wrong? I listened to him. And ultimately speaking, it's, do I agree with him? No. But he's entitled to his own opinion, absolutely, you know. And I was fucking crying because I was treating people that I care about like shit. Well, I saw my father today, and I saw him that he was kind of confrontational, so looking for confrontation, right? And I listened to him, and I was calm. And because I was calm, he thought I didn't give a fuck, right? So because I thought I didn't give a fuck, he started getting angry. And I stayed calm, right? And I was talking with him, and it's like it's easy. It was something very confrontational, and then he didn't care. But then he didn't like what I was saying. He said, "Oh, you don't want to listen. You don't want to hear me. You don't want to understand what I'm saying." And it kind of felt bad because for the first time in a long time, I didn't tell him what he wanted to hear. I didn't tell him, yes, you're right. I told him how I felt, and I communicate with him my needs, my current emotion, right? The girl I have right now is it's very very she's full of drive, right? And she'll tell me, hey, I don't like this. And at first I'm like, dude, what the fuck? But at the same time, how many people saw me act in a certain fashion? It didn't tell me you're fucking up, right? And ultimately, no, I don't want to fuck it up. But if I don't know that I'm fucking up, I'll keep on doing it. Now, am I looking for excuse as to why I fucked up? No. The people that care enough to tell you, hey, you're wrong, dude. You're wrong. With my father, I was being honest, and that's not what he wanted, but it was a good exercise. And I know it's bad to say my father today was an exercise, but it was. I was honest. I was talking about very calmly, which I don't do usually, right? So it was nice. The reason I cried in that last video, the reason why I need to explain this, and you see, even with the girl I'm seeing right now, and I talk about her a lot because I met her like a week and a half ago, and already the way she's talking to me, the way she expressing herself, it's very thoughtful. We're so similar. We're both smart. Her more, way more. She's funny as fuck. Very similar humor. There's a lot of things that she says that I don't think about, and it's kind of like a nice little balance. She's more grounded. She's more in not in place, but she's more. In French, we say "à son affaire." She's more in control of her situation, if that makes sense. She's more grounded with her own life, and I'm a bit more out there. I'm a bit more let's take chances, let's take risk, right? And it's nice because there's a balance going on, right? Meet me in the middle, and she's down. So many times I compromises, but so many times that she did compromises, and she doesn't have to be that. She doesn't have to be that nice to me. I find myself surrounded with amazing people. Another person that came in, Janice. I did that video where I cried. I did it on Saturday. Saturday night, Sunday morning, and he came onto my live. I was streaming, and he was like, "Dude, I heard that TikTok was going down, and it's a perfect example. Twitter was going down, and I want to see how you were doing. You didn't have to do that. And this is why I was so upset. This is why I cried. This was I was so emotional. That guy, right? And I didn't post a video about me crying, right? That guy came in my live and said, "Hey, I was thinking about you because I know TikTok was bad." I was feeling emotional, and I told him, "Dude, I treated you so much like shit. I was such an asshole to you." And the guy actually said, "I know you were working so hard. I know you were under so much pressure." And the worst thing is that exactly what I cried. See, I wasn't crying. I wasn't upset about hurting people. That's an asshole move. It's an asshole move. This is my responsibility. I chose to hurt people, even if I didn't mean it. I still hurt people. That's bad. That's not forgivable. Like, I'm gonna take a plate. I'm gonna take a fucking ceramic plate, right? I'm gonna show it at the wall. It's gonna break. But after that, I'm gonna take the plate and say, "Hey, I'm sorry to break you." It doesn't work, right? The reason is that I was felt so bad was because I had such amazing people in my life. People would kill. People would fucking kill to have the people that I have in my life, right? And I'm the kind of guy that is very grateful. I'm extremely grateful to people. They do some little things for me, and I'll be extremely grateful. And sometimes they'll tell me, "Dude, stop saying thank you. I did it. I did it because I'm happy to do it." But I feel so grateful. And ultimately speaking, I'm seeing those people, and I see the amount of kindness that I'm receiving. And the reason why I felt so upset was because I thought about the kindness I was giving back, right? And of course, I'm trying to be a good person. Of course, I'm trying to be a kind person. But it's to a point where, and you see, I was talking about balance before. It's to a point where there's an unbalance. Those people are so nice to me, and how do I pay them back? Now, ultimately speaking, they're not nice to me for payback, right? But if they're here, right, and I'm down here, then there's just this This is all off balance things. So I'm trying to be a better person, and it really hurts me because those people are so nice to me. And ultimately speaking, I'm nice to these people, right? I'm nice to the girl I'm seeing. I'm nice. I was talking about Janice. I'm nice to Janice, right? Well, I shouldn't be nice to Janice. My parents, my father needed help. I broke my phone for my father, and I broke my phone for my father helping him, and it's money I don't have right now to repair it, but I don't care because I helped my father, and that was more important. My mom, ultimately speaking, I'm gonna call her when I know Saturday she's not doing anything. I know Saturday night she's just finished working. I don't know why she's working. She just finished working, and I know my mom. She wants to have friends. I know she wants to go see friends, and I know that because she was working that Saturday, I'm not. She's not gonna have any friends to chill with. So I'm gonna call her, and those little actions are meaningful because I take care of my people, right? But it's the little thing that you're doing. It doesn't matter. I personally believe. I personally believe that it doesn't matter how nice you're to people if you're fucking them over, like it's not about me hurting those people that made me mad. It's about me realizing that I made those people sad, and the hardest part was my father will never tell me you hurt my feelings today. My mom will never tell me you hurt my feelings today. The girl I'm seeing, she'll actually tell me this is not cool. She'll tell me that this is not cool, don't do that, but she won't tell me this hurts me. She won't tell me, hey, you did that and this is how it affect me. Janice, it won't tell me. It will say like, dude, I don't understand. And you're over worried. You're like, dude, I hurt those people. And those people, they didn't do anything to me. They didn't do anything to me. I was talking in that video that was when I was super upset. I was talking about Carl and how much Carl did for me. And right now, the truth is, me and Carl, we don't talk. Not because it was a fight, not because I don't like the guy, but every single time that we talk, I start a conversation. So when I start a conversation every single time, maybe you don't want to talk to me, right? And ultimately speaking, I had a great friend, and maybe I wasn't mutual enough with that friendship. I wasn't mutual enough with that kindness, where he kind of saw me as this person that wasn't a good friend as he is. And ultimately speaking, I'm very lucky to have the people that I have in my life, but I also not that lucky because I did throw away people. I did push people away where I'm like, dude, I know you're not a good person. And ultimately speaking, are there bad people? No. I feel like there's a bunch per se. There's really cool people. There's normal people. There's bad people, right? Most people fall into the normal people category. I was talking about Shao. He's working. He's going to school, and Shao the number of time he asked me to chill, right? And I said no. When he asked me to chill, I don't want to. Not that I don't want to chill with him, but because it'll take me to a party, and Shao has a lot of Filipino friends, and that's perfectly fine because he's Filipino. But often they're gonna be talking Tagalog, and I'm not the person to say don't talk Tagalog. Talk English to me, even if they're inclusive of me because I speak English. It's still the extra step to be asking, hey, can I be part of the conversation? And with Shao, it's not cool because this guy he did a lot for me. And it's not cool because all he asked was a little evening out of two, and Shao was also one of those friends that I was really obsessed with YouTube. I was really obsessed with making content. He needed me, and I said, "No, bro, I'm busy," and that's not cool. So that's why I got really upset. It's the realization, realization that I've hurt people. It's the realization that what I did was not okay. It's the realization that at the very end of the day, I receive way more than I give back, and you believe yourself to be a good person, right? And I get DMs, I get comments of people saying, "Yo, you really helped me out, and you're really nice to me." And ultimately, it's such a complicated thing because those message means the world to me. When a fucking stranger come to me and said, "Yo, you're a really good person. You're a really good person," I get stranger telling me that almost on a weekly basis, and that's a very big point of pride. Um, people People ask me a lot, dude, you've been doing this for 4 years. How come you're not that more popular than that? Been doing this for 4 years. How come you don't make money out of it already? And that's come back to my father today, saying, don't you care about money, right? And for me, making those people happy is enough of pay. And I would say my motivation would be to help people, but that's bullshit. My motivation is seeing how this helped me, and hopefully by helping me by making, hopefully during the journey of In Vendetta, I help a couple people. And if I help a couple people, then it's not a selfish product. But at the core, it's a selfish product. At the core, the channel was created because I was getting bullied. I needed to escape. At the core, this channel became, okay, well, I'm confident. Let's build that confidence. At the core, this channel became an excuse to grow, to try new things, to do some new experience, to constantly improve myself, right? It became an excuse. Oh, it's for the channel. Oh, it's for the channel. I taste different food. Oh, it's for the channel. But I'm not going to lie to you guys and say I'm not excited to try new food, right? Because that's not the truth. I'm excited to try new food. But if it wasn't for the channel, I wouldn't. So it's excited, but it's not a need, right? Again, we got the want versus need talk. So, yeah. I get people telling me I'm a nice guy. And it's really helpful. I get complete stranger. I was talking about Rim in the last video. And Rim was, again, a person that came in and brought her friends to, because she said, oh, you're a good person. She brought her friend. What she didn't know was, at that time, I was nearing a burnout. I was putting in blood, sweat, and tears into making content. I wasn't sleeping. And although I was getting some positivity, I wasn't getting enough positivity for me to keep going. And she came in at the time I needed her. And she brought her friends. And only that positivity motivated me to continue and continue and continue and continue. I did have a burnout in September. I did have a burnout in October, right? But the truth is, without those people, I wouldn't have a burnout. See, because of those people, I also started reading the Quran. The Quran. And the Quran, although, again, I have to repeat myself, I'm not gonna convert into Islamist, even though I think it's a beautiful religion, but it taught me about life a little bit. In the perception of people of life, right? Social aspect. I have a hard time with social. It's so easy. I think it's something I did a lot. I think it's very easy to be on your own and to be like, fuck the rest of the world, right? I don't need them. I think it's easier to be on your own than to be in society. The society brings you so much more, right? And if everybody start thinking, I'm gonna be on my own, then there's no longer society. We're just sharing this planet. It's not about sharing this planet. It's about working together to make this planet a better place. And ultimately, it's very selfish, but those changes that come in, and they help me. Of course, I wanna give out. And see, I think there's a duality between Stefan, which is my real name, and In Vendetta. In Vendetta makes stranger happy. Makes stranger happy. And Stefan, it's just a shadow. I'm disappointing people, right? It's not because I don't want to disappoint people. It's because I'm giving out so much energy to In Vendetta. Now there's a balance going on. There's a balance, of course, but it's a tough thing. It's a really tough thing to balance it out, right? It's like there's two roads, right? There's two roads. There's Stefan and there's In Vendetta, and you want to make them both. So you go in the middle, right? But then in the middle, sometimes you hit walls. And because you hit walls, do I go on the right where it's In Vendetta, or do I go on the left where it's Stefan? And that's where I fuck up, right? And ultimately speaking, Ink can make a lot of people happy. And I'm very grateful for that fact. I'm very grateful for that opportunity. The reason why I was crying was because Ink was making people happy. But what did Stefan do? What did Stefan give people, right? And I don't think Stefan gave as much as he could. And I don't think Stefan could give as much as he could because he's so busy using Ink. There's something I didn't say. I was talking to the girl that I'm seeing, right? And she was talking about her family. And it was 12:04. And she's like, holy shit, TikTok closed. And I had to cover that. And I had to cover that. We're having a discussion. I'm like, dude, I have to go. Was it fair for her? No. Was it fair for her? It wasn't fair for her. It wasn't fair for her. And then, she called me. And she gave me information about other website that was crashing to help me make a good video. Right? And that night I heard her because she was talking about something that I should have remembered that she told me. It was a very important detail of her life that I forgot. Because again, I'm overworking. I'm doing so much at the same time. And I didn't. And I heard her. But I heard her, but the fucking hard part is not only that I heard her once, I heard her twice the same night. The first time she forgave me, and I'm asking again for forgiveness. That's not fair. I felt guilt. I felt guilt because I wasn't nice enough to people. I felt shame because I kept asking for forgiveness. Not by word, but by action. I felt shame. I started crying because I was looking at people that were really nice to me. And again, I'm nice to them, right? But there's often things that I do that I need to ask forgiveness for. And then you think about those people in your life. You think about those wonderful people, those amazing human beings in your life where you're so fucking lucky to get. And you think about it, and you think about it, and you think about it. And you think about it, and you look, you're searching, which again, it's an asshole thing to do. You're searching for an event where they ask for your forgiveness. They did something that needed your forgiveness. And you're not seeing it. And nobody's perfect. Nobody's flawless. But they're able to be good enough being as to not have to ask for forgiveness. The shame came from a place where I should be a person that doesn't need to ask for forgiveness. The shame came from a person that on its own should be a loyal friend, should be a loyal son, a loyal boyfriend, you know? And it's not that I'm disloyal, but I'm hurting people that I love. And I've been on the receiving end of that. I was that person that stick and hung out with people that made me unhappy. I was in a toxic relationship. I was friends with people that didn't give a fuck about me. I wasn't talking to my parents because it was easier. They wanted to talk to me and I didn't give a fuck. I know how it feels. Because I know how it feels, it should be enough to make me say, I'm not going to do that to other people. Because it hurts. But I do it. Now again, we're going back to the conversation of nature versus nurture. I want to do things versus, oh, I did this thing, was impulsive. Why am I fucking doing that? You can't quantify the pain you give to others. You can't quantify the pain that you inflict others. But there's something you can quantify. How many good deeds did I do today? How many good deeds? How many things did I do today that I regretted? Right? Doesn't matter how small of a good deed it is. Doesn't matter how small of a regret it is. It's still something. If day by day you're having more and more regrets, yeah. Anyway, once again, I want to come in today more calm. I was watching the video that I did, right, where I was crying, sharing guilt, and I understood the right emotion. I understood the right emotion, and I felt it, you know. Of course, I felt it. And I wanted to come today as a person that is not. Although I'm very. I think the girl I'm seeing, she asked me. I think it was the second day we started talking, and she was like, "Why do you always feel the need to justify yourself?" And she's right. She's right, you know. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm so proud of myself for doing this video because it took a lot of guts. It took a lot of balls to cry on camera, you know? I know I look like a pussy, but no, the person that cries on cameras and is not ashamed of it isn't the pussy. The person who's afraid to cry on camera is the pussy. But I didn't want people to think that I made this video because I was emotional. I don't want, and I still don't want people to think, oh, it was having a bad day. It happens. Fuck it. Right now, I'm having a great day. And I still stand by what I said. I feel like sometimes emotion can turn people into irrational beings, doing things out of impulse, doing things about that they don't mean, right? Emotions. And we focus on negative emotion, we focus on positive emotion, but we don't focus on emotion as a whole, right? It's not 180 positive, 180 negative. It's 360 emotion. I wanted to come to do this video as a calmer sense of myself. I want to do this video almost as a person talking to you personally that's just feeling an emotion right now. Or I wanted to come here and talk about how I felt, because it's one thing to talk about something that you just live. It's one thing about, yeah, I remember this, you know? The funny thing is, when you're depressed, you feel a lot of pain. Yeah? You feel a lot of pain. And it's mental pain, right? And you feel like you're drowning, right? And you feel like you're really drowning. And you're constantly sad, right? And then there's a moment in your depression, which I think is universal, where you're not feeling the sadness. You're feeling depressed, but you don't feel sadness. You feel nothing. Which is similar to the limbo, right? Hell, heaven, limbo. And I feel like because you don't feel anything, you think you're doing better. But not feeling a thing is as important as feeling a thing. Don't force yourself to feel things. Don't make a video because you feel something and then the next day regret it. I felt like I need to. And then what I'm gonna do right now, right here, right now, I think a good exercise for me to do, not for you guys, but for me to do, would be to watch the first part of Shame and Guilt. Watch it. And then watch this part. And then look at what's going on, because this is the best way to understand emotion. I'm feeling this emotion. I'm like this. I'm feeling this emotion. This is who I am. This is raw ink, right? I'm not feeling this emotion. This is a more demure, a more calm ink. They're still the same people. They're still the same people, right? First part, very emotional. Second part, not emotional. First part, ink. Second part, ink, right? And then you take this two part, right? And you're looking at the difference. This is how I act when I'm emotional, right? This is why I hurt people, because I'm emotional. How can I stop that? How you often feel like you're crying. You often feel like you're sad, but you never think about, okay, well, I feel sad. I personally feel that way. How do I make other people feel? And that's a different thing. That's a different thing. You know, I see a lot of people were gonna hurt other people, and because they're sad. My bully at work was sad because he was working a job that wasn't paying a lot, and he was living 2 kids, him and his wife, in a 3.5, so 1 bedroom. Him and his wife were sleeping on the sofa. You had a shitty situation. And he felt guilt, and he felt sadness, and he felt, I don't know, I'm not him. And then he felt that, and because at home, and you understand, it's a pretty normal feeling. At home, he feels like he has to be the male of the family, the patriarch. He has to be strong, he has to be in control, right? And that's pressure. That is pressure. That's a lot of pressure. Like when you feel overwhelmed. Okay, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm stressing. I'm anxious. I got anxiety, right? can I act normal? For how long can I maintain calm when I'm feeling all of these negative emotions? And then as you realize that's a problem. You've been having these emotions, but you don't let them out. You've been having this emotion, but you don't care about it. You know? You don't listen to your own self. I feel like I'm sad. I feel like I need to cry. But I don't do it. Fuck it. And that's pretty much it. So, this is a long enough video. It's a very long video. But I don't mind. You know why I don't mind? Because this video isn't for you. Right? This video isn't for the neighbor. Okay? This video is not for my kids, my future kids. This video is for myself. Right? And if I feel like it's important to do this exercise, I'm gonna do it. And ultimately, when I feel like I've become this better person, I'll understand that this video will possibly play the part in this. And I think it's important. I spent 20 minutes with my father today arguing. Not arguing because I was calm. He was trying to get a reaction, but I was calm. And I spent 40 minutes justifying why I was feeling emotion. And out of the two, right, I feel, of course, like my father was the most instructional one because there was adversity. But I also feel like this talk with myself, this open discussion, this dear diary, was also important. It's important to write down or to notice your emotion. It's important to write down or notice your state of mind. We also talk about physical health. Today I ate a lot. I should go run. Today I had a cup of wine too much. It's not healthy. But we don't think about, today I've been through a lot. Today I felt this emotion. Today somebody hurt my feeling. There's no healing for that. And if you don't think that mental health is as important as physical health, then you're wrong. I'm sorry, but you're wrong. How hard are you trying to fix your physical health? How hard are you working out to do fucking Instagram picture? How hard are you working for your mental health? Priorities. Balance. That's pretty much it. Anyway, I love you guys. Sincerely, I know I said that a lot, but I do. Take it easy. Peace.